Somsas today. So these are it's from Uzbekistan. So basically it's a laminated pastry wrapped meat and then cooked in a tandoor, which is a vertical oven with an open fire. But I've got a pizza oven, so I'm going to try a version of this. I probably won't make this a YouTube, but I figured if I might as well start at the beginning. So look at that, 450 grams of bread flour, 60 grams of salt, 200 grams of water, 100 grams of starter, sourdough starter, 10 grams kosher salt. Add those together and work them in. So this dough is like 50% hydration, so it's pretty stiff, but you need that to do the laminating. So I'm going to mix these up, probably do a couple bowl folds, and bulk ferment for about 3 hours, and then I'll start laminating. So some of that I'll show, some of it won't. There we go. Oops. Cabinets in the way. Lulu, calm down. I know. You don't get to go. So these things are going to be, I'm going to put half lamb and half probably a tenderloin, beef tenderloin, and then chop it up into like 1/4-inch pieces and mix it together. You add a little bit of coriander to it, dried coriander when you mix it up, salt, pepper, and then when you put it on the pastries, it's about, you add about a third of the weight of the meat in sliced onions and mix that together. Well, actually, I'm not sure on how I'm going to do it. I might put the onions on the bottom, put the meat on top of it, and then wrap it. And then you got to pinch it tight. So I've never made this before. So I watched a video online last night, and then ChatGPT and I told her what I wanted to do, and I just kind of fine-tuned it. So we'll see. It's nice using chat to make a recipe, because you can say, hey, I want to do this, this, and this, you know, fill in the rest, and then you can just go through and correct all the stuff that's wrong. This is going to be pretty stiff. I might have to do this by hand. As if it'll even come together. Come on. I might just let this rest. And there's just not enough in that bowl to... I'm going to let that rest for 20 minutes and then come back and mix it again. Let it hydrate for a little bit. I lost my cover. Oh, there it is. Anyway, we'll come back and look at that. I'm afraid that this video is going to be way too long, so I might just have to edit some steps out just for simplicity. Or brevity, I suppose. Okay, getting the pizza lit. Let's throw some straight up wood in there. And then I'll add some milk. Yeah, here's my settling tank. Oh, that's where the plumber started fire. So I've been kind of monitoring the temperature of the fire here. And I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't. It says 500. So I'm going to just add a little bit of wood and keep it going. I don't want to get this too hot. I want it to be, 550, maybe close to 600 on the deck. Okay, now is the moment. I'm back. I'm going to divide up this dough. And then I'm going to take each one of them and make it thin and hopefully into a rectangle. I'm going to butter each layer and then add the layers on till we get 4 layers. That'll get rolled up and then rest. I'll curl it up, rest it, and then come back and shape the dough balls for the Somsas. Well, S-A-M-S-A. All right, let's get to it. I'm gonna put a flour on the counter. So this dough is 50% hydration, so it's pretty stiff stuff. So I'm going to cut it in half and half again. Now I'm not making that many because I don't have that many people to feed, and it's experimental. So I'm going to kind of form this into a ball. Then I'll roll out each one, but I need to get some butter going and melted. I'm going to use one of these Lodge now. I'm going to put some butter in. I'm getting more than I need, but I'm going to mix it with some duck fat. I got the fire going in the pizza oven. You check that. I'm trying to keep it so it's not too terribly high temperature. don't know if that's going to work, but give it a try. Yeah, maybe not. So I'm not going to show all these, just the first one. Turn that on. It'll finish melting. You want to roll yourself up in it? Long sleeves are probably a bad idea. Let's fly with this a little bit. Flip it over. Come on. Yeah, see? It's not how to do it. How did they do that? That's why they rolled. Yeah, I think I'm getting to the end. Well, that's going to be my first miserable attempt. Now, I'm going to do that 3 more times, and then I'll butter these, roll them up. Now, I'm going to flip this. Fire both sides. Now, can you do it like that? I don't think so. Now leave that there. Do the next one. Butter that, add that, do one at a time. That's time to fast forward. Okay. So we have them the same sizes. Probably a good idea. Maybe I can do something about that. doubt it. And I'll layer it back. Yeah. Kind of works. It's getting messy. All right. I'm going to build up the other two and I'll bring you back when I'm done with this disaster. Okay, here's the third layer. Do a little better on that. Let's see. I'll show you the fourth one. All right, there's the last layer. And put that on there and then roll it up. All right, I've got 4 layers on there now. And clean the butter off here on the outside. And roll this up. Should roll it up this way. This way. Okay, I'm going to go this way. No, I didn't really do anything. Okay. No, it's gonna rest. Oh, for about an hour, hour and a half. In the meantime, I'll get the lamb, the beef, onions, a little bit of coriander, salt and pepper, and get everything diced up and mixed together. That's going to be the filling. See you back then. Yeah, I didn't check to see if I was pointing the camera in the right direction, but got some lamb and some beef. This New York strip steak, diced up. I put this in the freezer for a little bit and half froze it, so this is a bit easier to slice. So I need 18 grams of kosher salt. We're going to call that enough. Black pepper. And a teaspoon ground coriander. I don't think we're going to go quite. Yeah, there we go. It's almost a teaspoon. That's not like cumin. That's there to kind of even out the lamb, bring it together. And then I just need a little bit of water just to mix it together. And that is still cold. I want to get this all mixed together. And that's going to be the filling. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Ooh, that is cold. All right. I'm going to put this away for a minute, and we'll be back. Wash my hands. Okay, stop camera here. Okay, the oven's cooling down a little bit. Last time I checked, it was about 575 degrees on the deck. So I'm going to add a little bit of wood and come back and start shaping some samosas dough. Then we're going to get cooking. All right. I'm going to shape a couple of these and then let them rest for a while. That's bread flour, so it has a lot of gluten. And so my thought is I'm going to kind of pre-shape these a little bit and then stack them with some flour between them. And then I'm going to be maybe give them a little last roll in a few minutes and start cooking. And put a little flour on the counter. Now, how big to make them? I'm just going to get rid of this end because I feel like it. So when these get sized, if they're too big and you put too much meat in it, these things will end up burning before they cook all the way through. So it kind of, the size of them I think matters. So I'm just going to guess about this big. Right. I think they get stood up, flattened. Nothing else is kind of fun. Oh, I went sideways on that one. It'll be interesting. See how it turns out. But you can kind of see the flakiness with the layers going on. I think we can call that good. All right, you get the idea. So I'm going to do the rest of these. How many is there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that's exactly what I planned. Hard to believe. We'll be back when we start filling these. See you then. All right, they're all pre-shaped, stacked up. I think that's pretty. I asked my wife to come and behold the beauty, but she won't be impressed. I am though. Yeah, let's check the fire. See if I can. Ooh. Okay. So I can't see that through the camera, but it does say 570, 590 right in the middle. Degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Yeah. We don't. I'm in Iowa. We don't use Celsius for some reason. You know, I do use grams for all my recipes. Anyway, it's pretty fire. I got the dough going, ready to go, and it won't be long, and we're gonna wrap. Okay, so now it's time to put it together. I wanted to, so get the dough going there. I'm going to do an egg wash over the top of these for browning. I'm not sure I have a brush to brush these on. Those here. Okay. Find a brush. There's one. So here's the idea. Put these back. That's not where they go, but that's okay. I'm so prepared. I just want to have a landing spot here for these. Okay. That's 2. So, take one hand. That looks like a weak spot. I'm kind of wondering if, so I'm going to put the meat in here, seal it off on the edges. I'm kind of wondering if I need a little egg wash just to help seal up the edges. So I'm going to kind of put these in a pocket and make them into a triangle. So, how do I do that? I'm afraid these might be too big already. Yeah. So much for one hand dry, one hand wet. I'm going to do it like this. Pull this up. God, I hope you're not Uzbek. Because it's probably not very good, but you know, that's the first time. See if we get any better. This is the one that was laminated sideways. No, that's something. I probably need more meat for this. I need to fold those over. Yeah. Try doing it this way, maybe. Pull it up with my hand. Oh, Lulu, that's not any better. That's raw meat, Lulu. What are you, an animal? What are you watching over there? What are you watching? No, sounds like a game show. Alright, time for these to go in the oven. I think they might actually fit. So I'm going to put them in, let them cook for about 5 minutes, take them out, switch them around to see how things are going. Alright, here we go. It's February in Iowa, but it is it's not terribly cold out. I don't know, it's probably maybe 45 degrees, I'm guessing, at the moment. I mean, that's warm. All right. So I'm going to kind of put the door on this, but I'm not going to put it all the way on. So I'm going to let it breathe a little bit. That'll just trap a little bit of air in there. Well, I mean, it'll trap a little bit of heat in. And then I'll set the timer 5 minutes, and it's just directions with it. And we'll see where we're at, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Lulu. What's that noise? Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, and I'm going to flip those around, and hopefully they're not completely burnt. And they're completely burnt. By golly. I don't need to flip those around. I'm just going to bring them inside. a little dark on top. Ooh. Well, it's a bit of a fail, I think. We'll see. They might still be somewhat edible.
What are you supposed to eat them with?
What's that?
What are you supposed to eat them with?
A little bit of yogurt with something else, or sliced onions with a little bit of vinegar. They did kind of puff up, though. And they're definitely cooked inside, so, I mean, and that one's not quite. Yeah, it is. I'm just going to let these set. A little bit of a failure. The oven evidently was just a little too hot. You want to come look? I was afraid they weren't going to be done enough, so I started the oven to, they only cook for 5 minutes. Wow. Yeah, I should have probably just put them in there and watched them as they cooked. Lulu. Failure. We can dissect these and try them. I'll scrape off the top. And I'm going to have to do this again. That one looks almost edible. I mean, they look crispy. Disappointing. Well, we'll come back when we cut into them and try them. Yeah, see, look at them.
They smell good.
They smell good, but they're kind of black. Evidently that egg wash I put on there was a bad idea. They got pretty much even heat, though. I mean, this side, I don't remember if I picked it up from here. I should have paid more attention. Okay. Be back. So, I put the egg wash in there. But I'm thinking that because these are laminated, you got thin layers. And those thin layers, I'm guessing this one was probably the one that was oriented sideways, you know, instead of straight up and down. And you can see that is straight up and down, that's straight up and down, that's straight up and down. That is. That one I think was laminated this way, which was a mistake. But it definitely burnt the worst. So maybe just a little bit of butter on them instead of egg wash, or cook them in the oven down here, which is, you know, a lower temperature. But man, 5 minutes. That's all it took. And there. They did cook on the bottom. Let's cut one apart and see what it looks like. Let's try that one. Yeah, I'm not sure that dough's down in the middle. Mm-mm. Mm. The meat's good. I think where I doubled up and doubled up, I didn't quite get it right. These cook at a little lower temperature. Evidently, I think I probably had it about, it was probably 650 on the deck, but it was a lot higher on top. Next time, I'm going to do this in the inside oven, but it's good. Mm. Well, I tell you what, even if it's a bit of a fail, it's still good. I'm not going to call it a complete loss. Well, so if you're Uzbek, you can make sure to make fun of me. I'm just an idiot Iowa guy trying to make some samosas. Yeah. It does taste good. I don't get any coriander in it. Well, I like it. No, I just need to build a tandoor oven. Okay, that's good. I think my daughter told me there's a terminology for eating stuff when you're filming. It's called mukbang or something like that. It was probably rude, but I'm sorry. I'm serious, this is good. Even if it looks terrible, it is good. So if you're crazy like me, go ahead and give this a try. I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to do it again. Now, how do I turn this off?